Then did I give up on my parents, you know? These people think it happened on my wedding day, when neither of my parents showed up.
Others assume it was when my father skipped my college graduation to watch my younger brother play in an ordinary baseball game. Some would probably say it happened years later, when my mother called me crying and begged me to save my brother after he killed a man in a drunk driving accident. But the truth is, I gave up on my parents long before any of that. My name is Rezwan Hassan. I was born in America, but my grandfather, Rehman, was Indian, and unlike the rest of my family, I inherited many of his features. My father, Maximiliano, was Indo-American too, but he looked completely European, so nobody ever treated him differently. I, however, carried my grandfather's darker features and looked noticeably more Indian than the rest of the family. That wouldn't have mattered to most families. Unfortunately, it mattered to mine. For the first 10 years of my life, everything was normal. I was the only child, and all the love, attention, and affection in the house seemed to belong to me. My mom, Itzel, had gotten pregnant with me at 21, and though she told me later that I wasn't planned, I was still theirs. Then my younger brother Josh was born. Overnight, I went from being their son to being their obligation. My mother had suffered 3 miscarriages between me and him, and because of that, she viewed Josh as her absolute miracle. My mother's side of the family never liked the fact that I looked Indian. My grandmother especially made little effort to hide it. As a child, I didn't understand the coldness. As I grew older, I realized it wasn't my imagination. Josh looked like the child they always wanted, blonde hair, blue eyes, the picture-perfect American grandson. The difference in how we were treated became impossible to ignore. I had baby pictures in a single album with a cracked spine, while Josh had 3 professionally bound photo books. I'd worn hand-me-downs from my older cousin Ronan, while Josh had brand new everything. When Josh broke something, it was an accident. When I broke something, it was proof that I couldn't do anything right. When Josh got average grades, everyone celebrated his effort. When I got good grades, people asked why they weren't better. One Christmas, Josh got a brand new gaming console. I got a clearance rack sweater that was 2 sizes too large and still had the discount sticker attached. On my 16th birthday, nobody bought a cake. 3 days later, my mother remembered and acted like I should be grateful. When I made varsity sophomore year, my parents didn't come to my games because Josh had practice. When I got into a top 20 university, my mom asked if I'd considered somewhere closer so they could focus on Josh. The only people who never treated me differently were my grandfather, Remen, and my grandmother. They never cared how I looked. They never cared what side of the family I resembled. My grandfather always told me, character isn't inherited through blood, it's built through choices. Years later, those words became one of the few things that kept me going.